The crypto world just witnessed a paradox, a perplexing situation where positive developments seem to trigger negative outcomes. It's a scenario that leaves many scratching their heads, wondering how progress could possibly lead to a downturn. Pi Network, with its massive user base, a community of millions diligently mining on their smartphones, launched two long-awaited features. Features that were heralded as game changers, poised to revolutionize the Pi ecosystem. The Pi Commerce SDK, designed to facilitate seamless integration with e-commerce platforms, and the Pi Ad Network, intended to create a vibrant advertising ecosystem within the Pi network. These were supposed to finally give Pi Coin real-world utility, bridging the gap between digital currency and everyday transactions, and drive its value up, fueling optimism and attracting further investment. The expectation was clear: utility equals value. Instead, the price of Pi IOU tokens dropped sharply, a surprising and unwelcome turn of events. Why would progress trigger a sell-off? What forces were at play that caused the market to react in such a counterintuitive way? This video unpacks the mechanics of these new features and the expectations that surrounded their launch. We'll delve into the technical aspects and explore the initial excitement. We'll explore how months of anticipation shaped the community's hopes, the dreams of a thriving Pi economy, and how the market's reaction challenged those hopes, delivering a harsh dose of reality. The real story here is about market psychology, the collective mindset of investors, not just technology. It's about how human emotions and expectations can override even the most promising technological advancements. We'll compare Pi's experience to other crypto projects, examining instances where similar dynamics played out, that faced similar sell-the-news events where initial excitement gave way to disappointment and price declines. By understanding these patterns, recognizing the cyclical nature of market sentiment, we can see why development milestones don't always translate to price gains. The market doesn't always reward progress immediately. For millions of Pi miners, the price drop is confusing, a stark contrast to the optimism they once felt. For outsiders, it raises questions about Pi's future, casting doubt on its long-term viability. Our goal: cut through the hype, the speculation, and the emotional reactions, and analyze what really happened. We aim to provide a clear and unbiased assessment of the situation. We'll break down the reasons for the price decline, examining the various factors that contributed to this outcome, and what to watch for next. What are the key indicators that will signal a potential recovery or further decline? This is a story of high hopes meeting harsh market realities, a reminder that the crypto market is often unpredictable and unforgiving. The Pi Commerce SDK is a toolkit for developers to easily add Pi payments to their apps and websites. It's like a plug-and-play system. Businesses can accept Pi Coin without needing blockchain expertise. For years, Pi was mined but rarely spent. This SDK aims to change that. Now a developer can add a Pay with Pi button to their checkout page, and the SDK handles the transaction securely. This is a big step toward making Pi useful in everyday commerce. The SDK removes technical barriers, making it as simple as integrating Stripe or PayPal. The hope: more businesses will accept Pi, and users will finally have ways to spend their coins. This could kickstart a real Pi-based economy. If enough developers and merchants get on board, the SDK is the foundation, but adoption is the key. If it's easy and valuable, we could see a wave of Pi-enabled apps and stores. The real test is whether this tool leads to real-world usage. Building upon the foundation of the SDK, Pi Network introduced another key component to its ecosystem: the Pi Ad Network. This launch marked a significant step towards creating a self-sustaining digital economy within the Pi community. The Pi Ad Network provides a dedicated avenue for developers to monetize their applications and creations, offering them a tangible way to earn Pi by integrating and displaying advertisements within their apps. Developers can now leverage the Pi Ad Network to monetize their Pi-based apps, opening up new possibilities for revenue generation and incentivizing further development within the Pi ecosystem. This is a crucial step in fostering a vibrant and active developer community. This system allows developers to earn Pi Coin each time users engage and interact with the advertisements displayed within their applications, creating a direct link between user activity and developer rewards. Simultaneously, advertisers can participate by paying in Pi to gain access to Pi's extensive and rapidly growing user base, offering them a unique opportunity to reach a highly engaged audience. This interconnected system is designed to foster a circular economy, where value is continuously exchanged and recirculated within the Pi network. Businesses contribute to the ecosystem by buying ad space with Pi, driving demand for the coin. Developers in turn earn Pi through ad revenue, and users have the opportunity to spend their earned Pi at those participating businesses, completing the cycle. The beauty of this system lies in the fact that the entire value exchange, from advertising to earnings to spending, happens seamlessly within the confines of the Pi ecosystem, reinforcing its self-sufficiency. The ad network is strategically positioned to leverage Pi's already substantial and ever-expanding audience, making it an increasingly attractive proposition for advertisers seeking to connect with a diverse and engaged community. The potential reach and engagement offered by the Pi network make it a compelling platform for advertisers looking to expand their market presence and connect with new customers. The success of this model hinges on businesses recognizing the inherent value in advertising directly to Pi users, understanding their needs, and tailoring their offerings accordingly. If businesses indeed find value in this targeted advertising approach, it has the potential to create genuine and sustainable demand for the Pi coin, driving its utility and overall value. The underlying business model is built upon a foundation that is familiar and proven. It mirrors the successful ad network models employed by tech giants like Google and Apple, leveraging established principles of digital advertising. However, what sets it apart is that it is entirely powered by Pi, creating a closed-loop system within the Pi network. The fundamental question that remains is whether a sufficient number of businesses and developers will actively participate and contribute to transform this into a thriving and self-sustaining marketplace. If the Pi ad network achieves critical mass in terms of participation, it holds the potential to drive sustainable and long-term demand for Pi coin, solidifying its position in the digital currency landscape. But, mirroring the challenges faced by the SDK, the ultimate success of the ad network hinges on widespread adoption and active engagement from the Pi community. It's not solely about the underlying technology, it's about the human element and the willingness of users, developers, and businesses to embrace and utilize the platform. The ad network, at its core, is a tool, a powerful instrument designed to facilitate economic activity within the Pi ecosystem. However, its true impact and effectiveness will be ultimately measured by its real-world application, the volume of transactions it facilitates, and the overall engagement it generates. The foundational pieces are now in place, creating a solid infrastructure for the Pi economy. Now, the responsibility falls upon the Pi community to actively build and nurture the ecosystem, transforming potential into tangible reality. The Pi community was buzzing with anticipation before these launches. The SDK and ad network were seen as the moment Pi would finally become useful, not just speculative. The logic was simple. If people can spend and earn Pi, demand should rise. With tens of millions of users, even modest adoption could mean huge transaction volumes. Investors expected these features to trigger a network effect, driving up both usage and price. Years of slow, careful development added to the sense that this was a major turning point. Many believed the market would finally recognize Pi as a serious digital currency. The expectation, a major price surge to match the new reality. Instead of a surge that many anticipated fueled by pre-launch excitement and speculation, Pi IOU prices fell sharply after the launch. The decline was noticeable and immediate, catching some investors off guard and prompting a wave of analysis and speculation within the Pi network community. Why? What factors contributed to this unexpected downturn in price, defying the initial expectations of a significant price increase? First, the hype had outpaced reality. The pre-launch anticipation had created an inflated perception of the immediate value and impact of the new features. The new features were foundational, not instant game changers. They represented essential building blocks for the Pi network's ecosystem, but their impact on price would take time to materialize. The market had priced in explosive growth, anticipating a rapid and dramatic increase in value following the launch. But the rollout was gradual. The implementation of new features and the development of the Pi network ecosystem are ongoing processes, requiring patience and sustained effort. Second, remember Pi IOUs on exchanges aren't real Pi, they're speculative placeholders. These IOUs represent a promise of future Pi, but they don't have the same intrinsic value or utility as actual Pi coins within the Pi network. Their price is driven by hype, not actual utility. The value of these IOUs is largely determined by market sentiment and speculative trading. rather than the fundamental value of the Pi network itself. The launch was a reality check for speculators, forcing them to reassess their expectations and investment strategies, many of whom cashed out. Seeing that the immediate gains weren't materializing, many speculators decided to take profits or cut their losses, contributing to the price decline. Building a real economy takes time. Developers must build apps, creating practical use cases for Pi and driving demand for the cryptocurrency. Businesses must integrate payments, enabling Pi to be used for real-world transactions and fostering its adoption as a medium of exchange. And users must learn new tools. Widespread adoption of Pi requires users to become familiar with the technology and understand how to use it effectively in their daily lives. Some investors realized the road ahead is long and sold their positions. This contributed to the selling pressure and further drove down the price of Pi IOUs. This is classic sell the news behavior, seen in many crypto launches. The initial excitement surrounding a launch often leads to a price surge, followed by a correction as the market digests the news and investors reassess their positions. The drop reflects short-term sentiment, driven by immediate reactions to the launch and profit-taking by speculators, not the long-term potential of Pi's new features. The true value of Pi will be determined by its ability to create a thriving ecosystem and provide real-world utility to its users. Like Amazon's early days, where initial skepticism and market fluctuations didn't deter its long-term growth, laying the foundation is just the start. The real work of building a successful and sustainable ecosystem is just beginning. The market's impatience, driven by short-term profit motives, doesn't mean the project has failed. It simply highlights the difference between speculative trading and long-term value creation. The real test is whether these tools lead to real adoption over time. Will the new features drive increased user engagement, attract new developers, and foster the growth of a vibrant Pi network ecosystem? For now, the price drop is a lesson in the gap between hype and reality, reminding us that building a valuable cryptocurrency requires more than just initial excitement. It demands sustained effort, real-world utility, and patient investment. Pi's price drop isn't unique. Crypto history is full of sell-the-news moments. Cardano's ADA surged before its smart contract launch, then fell as reality set in. Bakkt's launch was hyped as a game-changer for Bitcoin, but underwhelming adoption led to a price dip. Ethereum's Layer 2 launches like Arbitrum and Optimism saw similar patterns: excitement, then volatility and corrections. In each case, the market priced in the rumor and sold the fact. The real work, building apps, attracting users, takes time. Short-term traders often exit after the news, while long-term value is built slowly. These examples show that price corrections after big launches are normal. The initial excitement gives way to the reality of gradual adoption. For Pi, the drop doesn't erase the potential of its new features. It's a classic cycle: hype, launch, correction, then slow growth. The lesson: don't judge a project's future by its immediate price action. Real value comes from sustained adoption, not just announcements. Pi's story fits this pattern perfectly. The next phase depends on what the community builds from here. To gauge Pi's real progress, look beyond IOU prices. Watch how many apps and businesses adopt the Pi Commerce SDK. Are more websites and stores accepting Pi? That's a strong signal. Track the Pi ad network. How many ad campaigns are running, and are businesses spending real Pi to reach users? Monitor developer activity. Are hackathons producing quality apps? Is the community growing? The ultimate milestone is the open mainnet launch, when users can move Pi to external wallets and exchanges. Any updates on this timeline are crucial. Real adoption, not speculation, will determine Pi's value. Focus on usage, partnerships, and developer engagement. These are the signals that matter for Pi's future. If you're interested in Pi, approach it with clear eyes. Know the difference between mining Pi in the app and trading speculative IOUs on exchanges. IOUs are risky bets on the future. They could go to zero if the open mainnet disappoints. The best way to support Pi's value is to use the new features: spend Pi, build apps, or accept it in your business. Developers experiment with the SDK and ad network. Real utility matters more than speculation. Manage your expectations. Building a global digital economy is a long, bumpy road. Don't obsess over daily price swings. Focus on real progress. Is the developer community growing? Are more businesses accepting Pi? Practice sound risk management. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. Diversify your crypto portfolio. Don't make Pi your only bet. Patience and caution are your best tools in this emerging space. The real payoff comes from building, not just betting. The Pi IOU price drop is a classic lesson in crypto market dynamics. The SDK and ad network are real progress, but markets often react to hype, not fundamentals. Speculators cashed out when instant results didn't appear. The real test is adoption over the coming months and years.